Once, in a small village at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a man named Marcus. He was not the richest or the strongest, but he was known for his wisdom. People came to him for advice, and he always had something meaningful to say. But Marcus carried a secret, a simple yet powerful truth that shaped every moment of his life. He called it Memento Mori. Remember, you will die. Marcus had not always been wise. In his youth he was reckless, chasing after pleasure and wealth without thinking of the future. He believed he had all the time in the world. But one day, while walking through the forest, he stumbled upon an old gravesite. The names on the stones had faded, and the wooden crosses had nearly rotted away. No one remembered who these people were or what they had done in life. That day, Marcus realized something. No matter how great or small a person's life had been, death came for everyone. From that moment on, Marcus changed. He began to live differently. He stopped wasting time on meaningless arguments. He stopped chasing after things that did not matter. Instead, he focused on what was truly important: love, kindness, and the moments that made life worth living. He carried a small stone in his pocket, smooth and cold to the touch. Whenever he felt lost or distracted, he would hold the stone and whisper to himself, "Remember, you will die." At first, people thought Marcus was strange. Why would anyone remind themselves of death? But as time passed, they saw the peace in his eyes, the way he treasured every conversation, every sunrise, every breath. One day, a young man named Lucius came to him, troubled by his own fears. "I am afraid of death," Lucius admitted. "It makes me anxious. How can you live with such a thought in your mind?" Marcus smiled and handed Lucius the small stone. "Death is not the enemy," he said. "It is the teacher. Imagine if you knew you had only 1 month left to live. Would you spend it worrying? Or would you spend it loving, creating, and being the best version of yourself? Memento Mori is not about fear. It is about freedom. When you remember that your time is limited, you stop wasting it. You start living with purpose." Lucius took the stone and turned it over in his hands. He thought about all the days he had wasted in anger, in laziness, in chasing things that brought no real joy. That night, he went home and wrote a letter to his father, whom he had not spoken to in years. He forgave an old friend who had wronged him. He promised himself that from that day forward, he would live as if every moment mattered, because it did. Years passed, and the village changed. People came and went, but the lesson of Memento Mori remained. Marcus grew old, and when his time finally came, he was not afraid. He had lived fully, loved deeply, and left no words unspoken. On his last day, he gathered his friends and family and said, "Do not weep for me. I have no regrets. Remember what I taught you, not as a burden, but as a gift. Let death remind you to live." After Marcus was gone, the villagers kept his teachings alive. They passed the small stone from hand to hand, parent to child, friend to friend. It became a symbol, not of fear, but of courage. The courage to face the truth and live a life without waste. And so, the story of Marcus spread beyond the village, beyond the forest, into the hearts of many. Some heard it and forgot, but others, the ones who truly listened, felt something awaken inside them. They looked at their own lives and asked, "Am I living, or am I just waiting to die?" That is the power of Memento Mori. This is the power of Memento Mori. It is not a dark thought. It is a light, one that shows us what truly matters before it is too late. So I ask you now, as you listen to this story, what will you do with your time? How will you live, knowing that one day you will not? Let that question guide you. Let it shape your days. And above all, let it remind you, life is precious because it does not last forever. The choice is yours. Remember, you will die. Now, go and live.